Hey everyone, I haven't really done one of these before, but this is kind of a real quick book review I thought I'd post. I'll explain more in the description. I want to try and keep the video itself kind of short. This is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. It was the first book on kind of my summer reading list, and usually it takes me weeks or months to get through a book. I'm a very slow reader, both like mechanically and technically. My eyes just don't move very fast, but also just I usually don't have a lot of time to just dive into a book and read for hours. But in this case, I made time because this book was wonderful. I finished it in just about a week. It's funny it's not an unknown book. It's made quite it's sold 500,000 copies. It's a New York Times bestseller. It's a read with Jenna pick. It's pretty well known. I was on vacation. We went into a local bookstore in Traverse City, Michigan. Saw it displayed on the shelf. When we got to our cabin, my friend's wife saw I was reading it, and she said, "Oh, the octopus book." So it's been around for a little while now. You might have already heard of it, but if not, I highly recommend it. I really enjoyed it. I had it described to me as cozy by my friend's wife, and I wouldn't disagree with that. I don't know if that's the first word that would pop in mind for me. It is a book about characters. It's character driven, definitely, not so much plot driven, but you are going to adore these characters. It's set in a small town in the Pacific Northwest, and everybody's up in everybody's business, and it all connects together and weaves, and you're rooting for people, and it's really great. And the main character, Tova, just all the warm and fuzzy grandma feels. And what this book is about is Tova's entering the last stage of her life, and she's experienced a lot of loss, and it's kind of about, I would say, growth beyond loss. It's about dealing with grief, and in the beginning, the way she, as you grow older, parts of your life kind of end. And you have holes you have to fill. And at the beginning of the book, Tova fills a lot of her holes by staying busy, right? That's how she deals with it. She works at a local aquarium where she befriends an octopus. That's something I haven't really mentioned yet that we'll get to. But as the book goes on, she finds other, not just staying busy. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's about found family. It's about connecting with people, and it's cool to watch these characters connect. There is a mystery in the background, but I would emphasize in the background. If you're looking for like a suspenseful, page-turning, plot-driven story, this isn't it. But there is a bit of a mystery that kept me intrigued. But I would say if you're used to reading that type of book, there's some clues. Every time a clue is dropped, it's pretty easy to figure out where it's going. So I guess if I were critiquing the book, I would say there were like some reveals at the end that felt like they were supposed to be like, oh, this is what that meant. That seemed pretty obvious to me throughout. But I don't think the book is about the mystery. It's about the characters. One of which that I need to mention that I haven't is an octopus at the aquarium where Tova works. His name's Marcellus. And that definitely adds an interesting layer of nuance to this book. You have chapters set from the perspective of octopus in an aquarium, and he's this grumpy, remarkably bright creature. And I always looked forward to the Marcellus chapters. I found myself when reading, like, sometimes flipping forward, seeing, okay, when's the next Marcellus chapter? I'll read to that before I put it down. I'd often end on a Marcellus chapter. They're never more than a page or two. They're always very short. But they were different and fun. And Shelby really captured the voices of all our characters in a really satisfying and fun way that I enjoyed from first page to last. I'm doing this review from the backyard of my in-laws while we're wrapping up our vacation, picking up the boys. The reason I'm rushing it in this kind of strange location is I want to let my mother-in-law borrow the book. This is a book I feel like I couldn't wait to share with people. Like, I read it, and I know a lot of people read it, but a lot of people haven't, and I want other people to read it. So I'm excited to share this book with people. Just probably the reason why I'm making this post. So yeah, if I'm giving ratings, which I told myself I'd do because people like ratings, it feels weird rating a book when I haven't rated other books and don't have much to compare it to. But I'd give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. There's only a handful of books I can remember like enjoying more than Remarkably Bright Creatures, and it's not a book I typically would have sought out. So, but really enjoyed it. The only reason it's not a 10 out of 10 is for me probably having a little bit more of like a suspenseful plot would have brought it up to that top tier. But really enjoyed it. Loved it. Can't wait to share it with people, and I hope you read it. So thanks for listening.